Like I said last night, I didn't get a chance to get into everything because I was just tired. But all I can say is about these Country Wayne skits is they're typical. They do the same thing over and over again. It's just like with Mike and Dominique. Dominique is gonna keep playing Mike's face. She did it when they were together the first time. She gonna do it now. Like I said, she needed to go to therapy because what Terry did, you thought Terry was a better man than Mike. The only reason you got with Terry was to make Mike jealous, and that didn't work, so you had to stay with him. And then Terry ended up playing your face with Libby. So, like I said, what goes around and comes around. She never wanted Terry. She wanted Mike. She was just using Terry to get back at Mike, and it backfired because he ended up with Melissa. Like I said, I can't wait for Melissa to put two and two together. Like I said, I don't think that Mike is gonna be with Sonny or Dominique. I think he gonna end up with Melissa. Melissa may be a lot of things, but Melissa's a whole lot easier to deal with than them two. Because at the end of the day, Sonny right now don't need to be with nobody. Sonny need therapy. Sonny need to heal. Sonny need to be by herself. Sonny need to focus on herself. Sonny needs to go back to Texas. Go on back to Texas. Just go on back to Texas. Dominique need therapy because of what happened with Terry and what happened with Esteban and why it is that she is so acting like this when it comes to being obsessive when it comes to men, obsessive compulsive behavior when it comes to men, because she has obsessions with men for some reason. She was like that with Esteban and she's like that now with Mike. It's a pattern. Mike is not the only person she act like this with. When it comes to Jocelyn, it could be one or two people that are stalking her. Is either Ty or it's Angel. One of the two. One of them is not dead. So, do I think Sade could be having something to do with it? It could be. Because, like I said, Sade been trying to get back at Jocelyn for what happened. But then again, Sade, turnabout is fair play. You did the same thing to her. When her and Ralphie went on that trip, who's the one that told her to go? And who's the one that told her to invite him? You did. When she was with Sean, you had a chance right then to tell her that you had feelings for Ralphie. You had a chance to tell her right then. When she flat out asked you, you had a chance to tell her. You didn't. You went behind her back and played both of their faces and said all these things to break them up. And then you got him, and who is he still with? Jocelyn. That's why I said when men are in love with certain women, I don't mess around with a man that's still in love with another woman. I'm not doing it. I'm not trying to convince him he deserves better. I'm going to leave him where he at. Point blank, period. I am leaving that man where he is. I'm just not doing it. In no way, shape, form, or fashion am I going to do that. At the end of the day, Sade was never pregnant. I knew she was never pregnant. And now, she's trying to sue. That's going to backfire too. Because there's more than enough evidence and more than enough people that know they were in a relationship. Jocelyn let Ralphie do what he do. Don't get involved. And I'm glad T. Hustle said I'm not going after a woman. So, Jocelyn, like your sister said, deal with this the legal route. Now, as for Libby, you should have never did what you did. Like I said, you tried to do what Amber trying to do when it comes to Shayla, and that just doesn't work. You sitting up here mad at these women. You need to be mad at Terry because how you got him was how you lose, man. He is cheating with a whole nother black woman. That man is using you for your money, sweetheart. He using you for what you got. And now you sitting up in jail and that man gonna be spending money. And when you get out, that man gonna be with a whole nother black woman. He just wanted a taste of a Caucasian woman. He just wanted to see what it would be like to be with a Caucasian woman because he's never been with one. That's all that is. You were just the flavor of the month. But you're not the woman that he's gonna be married to. You're not the woman that he's gonna end up being in a relationship with. Point blank, period. As for the situation with Sarah, you should have told Brock when Brock asked you about you being with Wayne. There's a reason they're doing this with all these women that are associated with Wayne. I guess we're going to have all of these women trying to fight for Wayne and trying to get him back, apparently. I just think that's where they're going with it. Because the fact that they're giving Brock and Sarah all these problems, and then you're giving Piari and Rome all these problems, and then you giving Erica's gone. So who's to say that all of these women are not gonna try to get Wayne back? And then the fact you got Lauren who wants Wayne, but for the wrong reasons. So, like I said, I love what Tamara said to Wayne about how you trying to represent yourself as far as your past to your future. Why does Lauren need to be there? And I agree. So, do I think that Lauren and Wayne may cross the line and she gonna end up getting hurt? More than likely. Do I think that D gonna take her back? No, I don't. Cause D gets found out he about to be he has a whole child that he didn't even know nothing about with a female that he did dirty. This ain't nothing but his karma for what he did to that girl. Cause now that I remember that girl, the dark skinned girl, the one that was his ride or die, the one that when he met Honey Pot that basically that was upset about it, she was pregnant, she didn't get rid of the baby. So now you have a whole situation with a whole little woman that's been raising your child for 3 years that you never knew about. That didn't say nothing. Shout outs to Ross for telling him. Because Ross could have kept that to himself. And that was his girl that he was messing with. This ain't nothing but D's karma for what he did to that girl. I told y'all, karma works in multiple different facets. Sometimes you may not know why certain things are happening. That's because you did somebody wrong. And until you do right by that person, until you make amends for that wrong, you're going to continue going through that until you do. How I know this? Because I have an ex right now that's going through based upon what he did to me. I'm telling you, that saying till you do right by me, everything you do gonna crumble. That's a true statement. Until you make amends to the people you've wronged, you ain't never gonna have nothing. There are people that can't keep money because they done did something to somebody. There are people that have done some things to people and even done stuff to the higher power they got to repent for. I know because I had to repent when I said I didn't believe in God when I was little. And I paid for that. So that's how karma works. But the fact that Danielle asked Amber about Wayne, I'm glad somebody did. I'm glad somebody called her to the fire about that. Because you settling. You do not want Anthony. You want Wayne. I keep telling people that, but they think I don't know what I speak on. No, she wanted Wayne to stop that wedding. I told y'all that. Everything right now, I told y'all from the very beginning. I said I was going to stop talking because I got tired of y'all trying to tell me I don't know what I speak on. When I told y'all that girl is still in love with Wayne. Just like when Ben asked Anthony about Shayla. Same thing. Now, when it comes to Natasha, you need to tell Rolanda the truth. But I'm glad she did confront Malachi and made it clear where she stand when it comes to that situation. But she need to tell Rolanda that Don is dating Malachi. She do. She need to tell her. And she need to tell Don the truth about who Malachi is. And the fact that I think Kendrick is trying to tell her, somebody need to tell her. Because like I said, Rolanda's always been there for you, Natasha. You need to tell her the truth. You need to tell her whether she believe you or not. You need to tell her. Sometimes you got to tell people whether they believe you or not, because at least you told them. Whether they believe it or not is really up to them. But at least you told them. And then leave it alone. If they don't believe you, then say, okay, look, you ain't got to. But just know this. When you realize I'm telling the truth, I don't need apology. I don't need nothing. I just know I told you, and that's all that matters. As long as you told them, that's all that matters. When it comes to Ernestine in that school, girl, that is not a parole office. That is a school. But sometimes you do have to use those type of skills to let these kids know and the staff know you ain't somebody to play with. But at the same time, you don't want to be a dictator in a situation like that, because then nobody's going to respect you and then they're going to be afraid of you. But sometimes that is required. Sometimes it just varies. But the fact that Jay knows about Trey and he found Trey in that house, oh, it's about to be a mess. That whole situation about to be, boy, he may go for custody. He may just go for custody after all, after everything that happened. As far as Melissa, when it comes to your situation, I hope you don't end up pregnant and you don't know who the baby daddy is. I got a feeling she's going to get pregnant. She ain't going to know who the baby daddy is between Trill and J-Mo. Because you know she's sleeping with both of them. As for J-Mo, just leave Melissa alone. If you're going to be with Brittany, be with Brittany. If you're not going to be with Brittany, be with Brittany. But you know what? I think it's going to teach both of them a lesson. And do I think Brittany and Trill may get back together when it's all said and done? Yes. Do I think J Mo and Melissa gonna be together? No.